the infamous tagline, who will survive and what will be left of them? When it comes to essential horror, again, you got to really break it down to see what are the most important horror movies in the genre that you need to watch. And people automatically go to old movies. That's not necessarily the case. But if we're really breaking it down, another movie that's been brought up many times in top 10s, top 5s, top 2s, I would say another essential horror film that everyone needs to watch would be Toby Hooper's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, Texas Chainsaw is interesting in a lot of respects. It is an indie film that ultimately was able to capture the nightmares and imaginations of so many people. It was a genre creating slasher type hillbilly family horror film that really led up to your imagination, because when you go back and you watch it, compared to films of today that have taken that concept and have run with it and show gratuitous amounts of nudity, gore, and horror, Toby Hooper, originally, there's not a lot of gore in that film. Really, what it really does is it breaks down your imagination. Thinking when he grabs one of the girls and puts her on the hook, you don't ever see it penetrate her. But all of the action and the imagination is within the actual person watching the film. From the way that it is scored, to the way that the scenes are shot, to the fact that you have these five teenagers going out in the middle of nowhere and being forced to be in a situation that God knows so many of us fear now because of this film. Texas Chainsaw does something unique because it is a notorious idea of the video nasties that perpetrated the 80s. This film came out in the 70s and completely changed the genre. We could even argue, right, with that with Sally escapes at the very end. She is our first final girl that survives Leatherface. And Leatherface, he's one of those iconic monster people that has now become so synonymous with his chainsaw. And it's, again, one of those movies that you really enjoy because of the direction that it's leading. A lot of movies are able to run because Texas Chainsaw walked. It got us to where we are now in a lot of that type of tropic horror. So when you really break it down, I would say Texas Chainsaw is something that still lives up to this day. This is the 50th anniversary of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So please, whether you're watching this video first and then going into it, or whether you watched the movie recently, I really hope you enjoyed it because, again, it stands the test of time. And it gives us one of the most iconic performances in Leatherface that we've ever seen. And I just personally love this movie. You can always put it on and you know it's going to be a good time. The dread, it just doesn't stop.